tax write-off. That's probably one of the biggest benefits you've heard to operating a registered charity in Canada. In this video, as a lawyer that helps others successfully file for registered charities, I'm going to talk to you, give a brief overview as to what being a registered charity means, some of the kinds of registered charities that we have in Canada, and of course, a little bit of an overview as to the steps in physically filing for a registered charity application. Now, when it comes to registered charities, we are talking about a very specific organizational structure. Registered charities are not your conventional for-profit corporations. Registered charities are not your conventional non-for-profit corporations. They are their own thing, okay? And when it comes to registered charities, it's important to know that there are three kinds in Canada. We have what's called charitable organizations, we have public foundations, and we have private foundations. I've put together some notes for you, so if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes. I'm not on Instagram, although I can link our Instagram. Now, charitable organizations. Charitable organizations are organizations that have more than 50% of its directors, trustees, or officials dealing with each other at arm's length. What does that mean? Is it science? No. Arm's length means parties that are not related to each other. Okay, so a charitable organization is an organization that is not being founded by like 10 brothers and sisters and that's the whole board. Okay, these are individuals that are coming together with an eye to a common goal, a common good, but they are not related to each other prior to the endeavor of this charitable organization, for example. So it's not people that are already in business, it's not neighbors, it's not best friends, again, it's not relatives or family of any kind. And the charitable organization, when it comes to donations, that's an important part because the kind of donations you receive are also going to color what you qualify for. Charitable organizations receive the bulk of their donations, again, from arm's length donors, complete strangers, okay? That's the charitable organizations bit. Now, public foundation. Public foundation, again, has more than 50% of its directors, trustees, or like officials being arm's length individuals, okay? And also receives its money from a variety of arm's length donors. What is an important distinction is that the public foundation generally gives away at least half of its earnings to other charitable, endeavors, if you will, including other charitable organizations, other registered charities, okay? So that's the difference between public foundation and charitable organization. Now, there's the private foundation bit. Private foundation bit is created when at least 50% of, remember that wording, directors, trustees, and like officials are not arm's length, and more than 50% of income for this private foundation type of registered charity comes from, a group of individuals that is well known to the organization. So its own founder, for example, its own founder is fueling the earnings behind this private foundation type of registered charity. Okay. We've all heard, I started with the shout out of, tax write-up. We've all heard, for example, that registered charities are tax exempt. And yes, there is truth to that. There's also, business incentive to other businesses giving to registered charities as opposed to giving to even like the best, most well-intended corporation of all, because the registered charity is going to provide them with, that little tax slip that allows them to write off and write down income on their end as a private corporation. So there is benefit to you, and that benefit further accrues by the fact that the registered charity structure will attract more parties to wanting to do business with you, okay? What does filing for a registered charity application look like? These applications are really, really, really difficult and technical applications. And, we have a serious audience here at Graphene Business Law, so I know you're not rolling your eyes thinking, of course a lawyer would say that. No, of course I am saying that, and I have data to back it up. The statistics right now in Canada are that about 60% of registered charity applications fail. That's not my data. That's public data. In the organization, of course, to which we are submitting our registered charity application, it is the CRA, it's the Canadian Revenue Agency. This isn't going to like, a poll of beloveds and, do you like me, do you not like me? This is serious business going to the CRA that looks at your application. Charity applications used to be done, there was this long form, you fill it out, you throw it in the mail. Now they're digital. That has made things a little bit difficult for a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people lack that financial literacy. You can have very successful business people that don't deal much with like the internet and the digital side of things. And that's a fact. So it's made, it's made the logistics of applying, I think, as a lawyer that has completed registered charity applications, so much more frustrating and inaccessible and annoying. But for what it's worth, it's now an online application. And to get that online application, you need a registered charity number that you call the CRA for. They give it to you. You can even get one online for yourself. Usually there'd be some prior existing structure, so to speak. So for example, you might convert a not-for-profit into a registered charity. Once you've gone through those logistics of getting through the CRA portal, getting through that left tab that says registered charity, clicking on it, clicking start, and then you have like the A, B, C, D, all the different sections to fill out. That part, a lot of those sections are going to seem self-explanatory, like list the directors, list the whatevers, list the mailing addresses, list the name. Of course, you might be thinking, I know how to do that. Where it gets annoying is that the crux of a registered charity application hinges on two main parts, one of them more than the other, and that is outlining the purpose of your registered charity. So you have to be really careful with that. Only certain purposes are allowed. Only 4 purposes are allowed, by the way. But you have to be really careful in how you word it. Let's say your purpose is religious. Your purpose shouldn't be teaching people to love God, if that's what you're promoting. And that's okay, you can promote that. But it's like, how are you doing that? What are you doing every week to do that? What are you doing every day to do that? What are the specific activities? Who's involved? And the other aspect, the other part where a lawyer really provides a lot of value add in addition to the purpose section is the funding section. You have to be very careful in what you outline for funding sources for your charity. You have to have a clear vision there. You can't say, we'll make money when we make it. I anticipate money will come. Mom promised me money. That's a fail. I can't give legal advice, so I'm not going to tell you if that's going to fail your application. But I can tell you from an educational perspective that the funding option needs to be fairly robust as well. So again, those are sections where a lawyer provides a lot of value add. Is a registered charity application the best for everyone? No, it's not. It really depends on your, again, mission and vision, and it depends a lot on your personality type. Myself being, fairly aggressive in business, things like applying for a charity application, which by the way is going to take months to hear back from CRA, is something that to me, I would be like, well, by the time I hear back in 6 months, my own corporation, like for-profit corporation, could have made it big. I need to attack what I'm doing myself. That's just me. And that's a lot of the clients I work with as well. So I'm just bringing your attention to that. And then the non-for-profit corporation route, on which, I've posted a video on that and I'll link it up here. That route is sort of a middle ground for a lot of people. You're allowed to do some good, you get access to some good funding and, grants, for example, while still maintaining control over your own vision. The registered charity application, well, then you have, a very strong and powerful organization watching over you, and that's the CRA. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. There's a reason that there's like thousands of registered charities in Canada, like tens of thousands. Last time, I remember years ago, I looked at the number and it was over 86,000 registered charities. And this is maybe 5 years ago, like years ago. So there's a reason others are doing it, because if you do it well, of course, you can take advantage of a lot of benefits. But being, a successful business person, you know that even the benefits come at a cost. So then let's start a conversation about what cost. I'll pause the video here. I think you have enough of an overview as to what the registered charity, application looks like, the different kinds of registered charities, in case you thought there was just one. Hopefully that's some value to you, just as a result of you YouTubing or Googling, registered charity applications or how do I apply for a registered charity application. I hope the data on what percentage of these applications fail has been is impactful for you in terms of making sure this is something you're really serious about. And of course, if it is something you're serious about, we can help you here at Graphene Business Law. Our welcome email is info@graphenebusinesslaw.ca, and our website is graphenebusinesslaw.ca, and I'll link both of those here. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, click subscribe, and let us know your comments. Were you thinking of applying for a registered charity? Has this video impacted your thinking in any way? And it's always good to connect with our viewers that way, because we do have a really, really nice community here on YouTube at graphenebusinesslaw.ca. Thank you for watching.